Welcome to Good Burger, home with a good burger. Can I take your order? Buckle up!
Hey everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama, welcome to our channel, Paws On Animation, and another Good Burger.
Home of the Good Burger. Can I take your order? In today's podcast, of course, we're covering Good Burger 2.
So this is a direct sequel no one ever thought was coming, and it's been 26 years since the original cult classic. Nickelodeon Movie was released into the world and became well loved. So how does the sequel hold up to the classic?
Well, before we start, be sure to like, subscribe, and click notifications on future podcasts and multiple pause videos.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us, subscribing, sharing our videos, and so much more.
Yes.
Thank you so much. We hope you're enjoying your summer.
Yes.
So this movie had a few differences versus the first one, including that the characters are all older. But also, Dan Schneider was not involved in this project.
Period.
For reasons we're not going to get into.
Right.
We'll just tell you the facts about this movie. So, this is a comedy film. Very short description this time.
Right, comedy.
This time was directed by Phil Trail, written by Kevin Coppola and Heath Seifert, who also wrote the first Good Burger. Very smart of them.
Right.
Based on characters created by Dan Schneider, Kevin Coppola, and Heath Seifert. Now, this time it was produced by Kenan Thompson and Kel
Oh
Mitchell.
my God.
You go.
Perfect.
And it was released for some reason only on Paramount, not on Nickelodeon, where other people could see it, but it was released on Paramount in November of 2023 with a runtime of 90 minutes.
Yes, and the only way we were able to see it, because we did not have Paramount Plus, is on DVD that we just happened to find at our local library. So we're grateful we even got to see it on DVD at all, because those types of movies I like to keep on there, period. And we watched it, and while it starts off a little different, and it feels a little different, but as the movie goes on, it's safe to say that it does gain its footing and starts being more and more like the original movie you love. You can tell there's a few type of jokes they can no longer make, but they don't harp on it, they don't make a big deal, they don't call someone else and, well, we can't say that here, this isn't the 90s or some crap like that. They don't do any of that. It's just, okay, you understand they have to change some jokes, but they did it in the best way possible.
And Kenan and Kel have got some type of fountain of youth, because they don't look much older. Kel especially was cruel. It was just weird looking at it, and you're like, this is how many years later?
Right.
Dude,
oh my God.
what you're doing, you gotta let everybody know.
Right.
So this sequel actually began being talked about when Kenan and Kel both appeared on a sketch on this nice show when Jimmy Fallon hosted it back in 2015. That's when they said, you know what, we need to have a sequel. They're still just as good, this is just as funny, and people still love them. So that's how we got our sequel. Jake, thank you, Jimmy Fallon.
Right. And when watching it, he said it's still fun. You can tell it's also filmed a little differently now because it's 2023 at the time they filmed. And the only difference, I think, besides changing the type of humor was that a lot of the people were a little dumber. A lot of people were a little dumber than before. And we don't just mean the cussers. I mean the people that Kenan worked with, that he was trying to get his own business style. The firemen weren't that bright. They blamed him for the fire even though he didn't do anything. It just was an accident. The people at Good Burger still weren't bright. Like, the cousins weren't bright. The stars weren't bright. Nobody was really bright. It's like, I don't know how he is surviving, because he's the only one with some type of intelligence in this movie.
And I think that was supposed to be the irony. It was like, wait a minute, you the smart one here?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Everyone was dumber. I was like, what happened to them?
So that was brilliant.
Yes.
Turning everything around. It's like, guess what? He's the smart one.
Right.
And then you had Kenan, who, yet again, had to come back for a job.
Right.
Like he did in the first one.
Right.
He had left to pursue his own business interests, and they fell through.
Yes. And when he ends up going back to Good Burger, he's like, wow, this really hasn't changed at all. Almost everyone's still working. He was, Kel was still working there. And what's funny is that his house is even modeled after Good Burger stuff and fast food. There's like SpongeBob's house if he lived not in a pineapple, and he has a family on top of it. So it's
a bunch of kids,
right? And it's like, and they're all into Good Burger just like him. You're just like, what the heck happened? It's like, you got married,
and they all
you
look
got
like mini Kells, and they wear the uniform.
yeah. And so is the wife. It's like they all work there.
It was brilliant. It was fun. And as in the first movie, we wanted fun. And in this one, we got fun. We didn't need it to be serious. We didn't need it to be deep and philosophical and heavy. We needed the message, which it gives, a great message, but we needed that fun. And they delivered on the funny and the comedy. And at times, it almost felt like it was improv because they were just back into the groove.
Yes.
And it was so natural. Like, none of these people ever left.
Right.
Of course, you didn't have some of the older people that were like Abe Vigoda has passed. And I think another person had passed.
Yeah. So they had to get new people.
But the others, it was like they never left. It was fantastic. And it's great to see when you have a good sequel, when people return a long time later, like with Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah.
And it's like they never left, they never stopped working, everything was just like it was, and they picked up where they left off. That is wonderful. And that's how you also know the cast has gotten along, and they were like a family, and it also makes you happy because you hear so much garbage about other productions and movies that it's good to see that this is the case for this cast.
Right, absolutely. And one joke they did make is, in place of the older man that worked there that had passed, they had actually someone younger work there from the first movie. And he apparently got locked in the freezer in one of the scenes, and you didn't ever saw him again. Well, they actually came back to it, and he is still in there, but he still got older somehow. And he's talking about going again to school, cleaning his room, playing baseball. It's like, you're 20-something now. And it's like, oh, golly gee, I need to get back home. And it's like, I think your parents think you're gone. It's like, how are you in here all this time to survive?
Oh my God. So, one other big standout about this movie is there were a lot of cameos. I'm just gonna run them down quickly. And it's fun to see them. Mark Cuban, Young Gravy, yes, that's his name.
Hey,
Nicole Richie, Zoe Saldana, Andy Samberg, Maya Rudolph, Bowen Yang, Chrissy Teigen, Daryl DMC McDaniels from Run DMC, Shar Jackson, Shaun White, Mikey Day, Danny Tamborelli, George Clinton, and Alan Roker.
Right.
Now, appearing as voices, Sinbad appeared as the voice of his manager. And remember, he played Mr. Weed in the first movie. He had Alexa Khan as Burgers, Beverages, and Sauces, James III as Burger, and David Chin as French Fries and Sauces.
It's a bunch of little Muppets. Like,
yes.
What the heck?
So those were the cameo appearances and the voice appearances. We haven't gotten to the cast yet.
Yeah.
We wanted to let you know that was one of the big differences. You had a lot of guest appearances and cameos, but they were fun. It wasn't like, oh gosh, this person is in here. They're just flexing their muscles like some other studios, showing how many people they know.
Right.
The cameos worked, and they were fun, and you enjoyed them.
Right.
And actually, by the end of the movie, I was wishing there had been more cameos because it was just so brilliantly and fantastically done.
Right. And the storyline they have in here is, at least they made a little different from the first one, where you had the rival company. Well, in here, there's this guy that's been coming to Good Burger, and they want to buy Kel's secret sauce. And he said he promised he would never sell it to anybody because that's what helps make Good Burger a hit. And they want to buy and market. Megacorp. They want to buy and produce mass quantities of it. And Keenan kind of wanted it to happen because he needed money badly. So he convinced them to do it. And then when he finally does, they put in the contract immediately that you can't use it anymore, so they shut down the restaurant and they get to keep it all. It's like, how do you not read the fine print on this? It's all, don't worry about it. You should have read it.
Yes. And it's like, you're the businessman and you didn't read it. All he was concerned with at that point was getting some money to help him.
Yes.
But of course, he regretted it. He was sorry, and he helped to make it right.
Yes. And they even kept in a lot of the jokes you know from the original and the callbacks. And one of them especially being towards the end when Kel ends up defeating the bad guy of the film. Of Megacorp this time. And they ask him, well, how did you shut it all down? And it's the same as the first movie, where he said, oh, I just tagged into the mainframe, inserted a code that would deactivate everybody, so and so. And they're looking at him like, you're not an idiot? Yeah, and then that happened in both films. Like, suddenly he was just brilliant hacker. Just when it came to that, and he was back to being a dimwit. Yeah. It's like, he's actually good at this.
And it was fun, and it worked. So let's get to the cast. And in the cast, you had, as we mentioned, some returning cast members, as well as more, we won't say cameos, but featured stars playing roles.
Yes.
A lot of them that you know. And again, it was just brilliantly done. Had Kel Mitchell, of course, as Ed, and Keenan as Dexter. You had Kamala Fairburn as Mia, Dexter's niece. Mm-hmm. Alex Hibbard as Ed 2, as son. Mm-hmm. Fabrizio Guido as Mr. Jensen, the current manager of Good Burger. Mm-hmm. Emily Hinkler as Cindy and Lindy, workers at Good Burger, and you didn't know they were twins.
Right.
Elizabeth Hinkler as Mindy, the twin sister of Cindy, who works at Good Burger. So they actually had some twins and triplets.
Yeah, the triplets. Yeah, there's 3 of you.
You have Annabelle Gretz as Ruth, the elderly worker, who I think took the place of April.
Yes.
Leslie Jones as Charlotte, Dexter's sister and Mia's mother.
Oh my gosh.
Lisa Koshy, as Wilmer, who was a technician at Megacorp. Rob Gronkowski as an inconvenienced customer, and I mean, Gronkowski is everywhere.
Yeah, right?
Kai Sinet as a disgruntled customer, Marcy Martin as a friendly customer, Pete Davidson as an angry customer, Ingo Noedem as Edie Ed's wife, Nicole Byer as Luna Fox, Lil Rel Howery as Cecil McNevin, he was the lawyer for Megacorp and a bad guy, Jillian Bell as Kat Boswell,
oh my
Lori
gosh.
Beth Denberg as Connie Muldoon, Carmen Electra as Roxanne the nanny.
Oh my god.
Ed, yeah, that was hilarious. Josh Server. I turned into Scooby-Doo. Josh Server as Fizz. Adrian McPoint as Megacorp Goon. There are so many others in here. I'm just going to stop. This was a star-loaded fest movie, and it was done brilliantly. And again, at no point did you feel like, oh, this is you were just enjoying it, and it just seemed like they could have just kept having more, and it still would have made it more.
Right.
So, if you've seen Good Burger 2, let us know in the comments below. Did you love it? If you've seen one, how do you think it compares? And if you didn't like it, let us know why below.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, get it on DVD at your local library. If you have Paramount, give it a watch. It's a lot of fun.
Yep, still.
And it really is a respectable sequel to the original movie. They did it right.
Yes.
And again, the only bad part is they didn't release it where everyone could see it. It should have been released on Nickelodeon, then put on DVD and Paramount. But somebody made a bad decision.
Yeah.
And now a lot of people who would have loved to watch it haven't watched it.
Right.
Oh well.
And if you haven't already, subscribe for updates and movie reviews for your anime series, anime shows, and all things animation.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for joining us, taking time out of your fun and busy summer to be a participant in enjoying Good Burger 2 like we did, hopefully. And thank you so much for subscribing, sharing our videos, and so much more. As always,
you are special. Thank you so much for watching Rascal Entertainment
and Mom Entertainment.
Have a fantastic day.
Peace.
Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. Can I take your order?